everyone, today we're going to be looking at the new stamps feature in Read Your Body. We used to only have access to a fluid feature or a cervical mucus feature where you could tap this little gear icon in the top right, and then you could customize what types of fluid you wanted. I labeled them G, E, L, E, S, and then flag or yellow as per FEMM instructions. And what was great about fluid is you could mark it as obscured or not. You could start a new cycle right there, or you can do these interpretations. Recently, Read Your Body introduced the stamps feature. This is how it looks. You have the option to input the amount of bleeding, light, medium, or heavy, or none, spotting, brown bleeding, G observations, EL observations, ES, or, and this is what I really like, I like how it's just called other instead of yellow. Yellow, it can be so confusing, I think, because people think that if they see yellow cervical mucus, they automatically think, oh, I need to mark that as yellow. But really, if you see yellow tinted cervical mucus, it's probably still just either EL or ES. It might just be tinted yellow. Yes, it could be some type of a symptom of infection if you have, say, a yeast infection and there's discharge specifically associated with the yeast infection that perhaps is tinted a little bit yellow. But point being, like, a yellow color literally does not necessarily translate to needing to chart it as yellow. So in conclusion, I just love that they marked it as other because it's a lot less confusing. I also like with the stamps feature how you then manually have to mark P or your peak day, and then you manually have to mark 1, 2, or 3, and then you can also note an obscured observation by just doing a little question mark too. So I could have an obscured observation that was other and it's a question mark, or maybe it's EL, or is it? And it's a question mark. So this is just so handy. And of course, you also have the start a new cycle feature as well. Let's go to the chart and take a look at how it looks on the chart. Looks like this right here. I absolutely love these stamps. I love them because for the longest time, whether charting with Kindara or Read Your Body, I always felt like I was having to translate FEMM into another app. And I always felt like I was having to find a way to get the FEMM notations to work in another app. With this, I finally feel like they're just the FEMM notations, the way that they're supposed to be. And I love the way they look. Let's take a brief glance at my previous cycle. So you see here on the left, the different days of bleeding and spotting. You can see that when I had ES and spotting mixed together, it makes a little half and half circle of spotting and ES. And then you can see, ES versus EL. You can see that I manually labeled peak day plus 3, and then the G observations as well as spotting again. And I love the way it looks. I'm gonna go back actually to my data, and I wanna just make sure that the fluid notations are turned off to display in my chart. And we're gonna go back to the chart now. So this was last cycle without the fluid notations kind of in the mix and adding more bulk to the chart. And I just love how I think it looks very sleek. I think it looks just so plain to read. What I also love about this as well is like it really encourages proper use of the terms for cervical mucus. So rather than calling them by other terms, we're using the FEMM terms of cervical mucus, G or EL or ES. And I just love, again, that it just finally feels like I'm really charting with FEMM, and I'm not having to like fit it into a different mold or adapt it or translate it. It just feels like I'm charting with FEMM, which is excellent. And obviously Read Your Body, in my opinion, is just leagues beyond where the FEMM app is at currently itself. Read Your Body is so customizable in all these other ways. It's so easy to read and easy to export. And so I just love this adjustment and this development. going back to my current chart, again, here's how it looks. And I just want to, show you how to get these stamps if you don't see them yet in your charting. You want to go to the data page. On the top right, you'll see the little gear icon next to the home icon. Tap the little gear. Under items to track, you want to scroll down, and you'll probably see in this little grayed out area the stamps notation if you haven't already turned them on. What you'll do is just, toggle so that it's turned on, and then it's going to show up like this at the top. Then you can press the little 3 bars to the left of stamps, hold that down, and you can move it, and this will indicate where it's going to fall on your data entry page. So I prefer to have on my data entry page my temperatures first, then my stamps, then my fertile window, etc., etc. And if I go back to my data entry page, I see that it's like that. We're going to go back to the gear icon, and now we're going to also select display on chart. And again, you want the stamps to be toggled on to display them on your chart. What I did is I still have fluid as an item that I'm tracking because of my past cycle history. I still want to keep my past cycle history information all there. So I'm not gonna turn that off. I'm still gonna keep it on. But what I want displayed on my current charts is I just want the stamps, because when you have both the stamps and the fluid displayed, it's just really redundant, it's clunky, it's too much information that you don't need. So you really just need one or the other, and in my opinion, the stamps are superior. So we're going to have them turned on as items to track and items to display in the chart. Going back to the data entry page, I go to stamps, and in the little stamp gear icon settings, if I tap on that, you can select which stamps you want. And so obviously I've selected the stamps for FEMM at the bottom. As you can see, the FEMM stamps have the widest selection of colors. There's spotting, bleeding, brown observations or brown bleeding, other, G, E, L, and ES. Other methods have fewer choices, and I just personally really, really love the FEMM set of options and notations. So those are the stamp settings that I've selected for my method that I chart, and that's pretty much it. Again, I love this feature. I'm so happy that Reader Body is constantly developing these new features, bringing them to this app that we use. It's incredible, and it's the app that I think many charters have always dreamed of. So if you haven't checked out Read Your Body yet, please do. As a certified educator myself, I teach a course, and all of my clients receive 3 free months of Read Your Body. So if it's something that you've been wanting to try and you also are looking for a course, please reach out to me. Schedule a call with me at the link below in the description, and I'd love to meet with you and get you on board for taking the course, because this journey of body literacy is so incredible. It's empowering in ways that you don't even yet know, and using Read Your Body is such a helpful tool to get there. And again, while it's kind of interesting and tricky as an educator to keep up with all these new developments, I feel like every time I make new teaching resources, they come up with a new development, and I'm like, oh no, like my resources are now a little bit outdated. But it all boils down to the same thing, okay? No matter what features I might come out with, we're all, they're all working toward the same goal. So I'm in love with this. I hope you are too. Please leave your thoughts below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.